Welcome back. We are now going to be looking at part two of the BA MA curriculum. So let me again share this document with you. This is called the BA MA workflow, and you will have been given that already. And so you will be able to follow along with your own BA MA workflow, or you can just look at the computer screen or your phone screen and you can see what we're talking about. What I want to do in this video, though, is to begin to help you to understand how to use this document well. And so the first thing you're going to see here is that, again, we said for you to complete this program, you have to go through starting well here and continuing well, and then these 7 character outcomes. All right. And so then when you actually look at this document and the way it's set up, we're going to skip some of this and move right to starting well. So here we go. And so here we go. The very first thing you're going to do, and that you may have already been in the process of doing, is starting well. And so you will go to Pathwright. Remember, we said there are 4 domains of relationships. One of those is the LMS called Pathwright. And on Pathwright, Kairos University, once you are accepted, will send you a link to do this, what we call a learning experience. And this one is called Starting Well. You will complete this learning experience, and then you will have a discussion with your mentor team about what you have learned about the competency-based theological education approach and all of that's a part of Starting Well. Starting Well is simply to orient you to this journey of discipleship that you're on using the competency-based theological educational philosophy to move you through the degree process and the developmental process. And so once you have done that, you will see down here, you have this thing called an MA Master Assessment. Okay, and that you will take in a master assessment, and we'll introduce what that is later, and that will be how you complete this learning experience or this character outcome. And then what's going to happen is you're going to move from starting well to then you're going to be meeting together for the first time as a learning community. And when you're there together, you're going to start CO7, which seems like it's out of sequence, but CO7 is going to cover from the time which you matriculate or enter the program all the way to the time you finish the program. But in this first part, what you want to do is you want to learn how to relate to each other as a learning community. And to do that, we have created a learning experience for Character Outcomes 7, considerate community member, for you to do that. And just so you can understand how this is all set up, you have the Kairos title, KU's title, which is Reflection and Community. The SALT team has come up with a different nomenclature, which is called Considerate Community Member. And in that, you're going to see that it covers competencies 19, 20, and 21. We said that each character outcome has 3 competencies, and you will be introduced in this part at the very beginning to Considerate Community Member Part 1. And then we tell you it's Part 1 of 3 in the MA side. And then here's the work that you need to complete. You're going to formulate a learning community covenant, and you're going to design an assessment tool that you will use midway through and at the very end. And then there is no master assessment for this because you've not completed this character outcome. Then you're going to move from this character outcome 7, you're going to actually start character outcome 1. So let me get you there. And here you go. Here's character outcome 1. In character outcome 1, again, the Kairos has its own title, Christian Spirituality. But we as a SALT team have our own, which is a maturing disciple maker. Now, what I want you to really focus on and see here is on the left, you have the SALT title for what you're going to be doing, knowing yourself. That's the BA side. And it's indicated as a BA requirement. This is 1 of 15 that you need to do. And here's the actual work that you are responsible for this outcome. Is right here. It's all listed there for you. And so this will be a very helpful tool for you as you're trying to say, okay, what do I need? What am I responsible for? And how are they working at developing proficiency in this area? Well, this is how we're doing it. When you complete that BA outcome, Every time you complete a BA you immediately have a master assessment. That master assessment can be done by a single mentor. Generally, it's going to be your faculty mentor. And they will then walk you through the master assessment process, and you will then be able to be, once you complete that, you will be freed up to start the first competency, competency 1 in character outcome 1, right, which we already set up here was maturing disciple maker. So you'll be able to do this first competency, and you'll make what's called a life map. And it doesn't really matter there. And then you're going to do all the work, but you're going to notice that it says in the orange, 1 of 4 learning experiences needed for the master assessment. You will not yet do the master assessment until you completed all the learning experiences, and there are 4 in the first character outcome. But you'll also notice that these are all in a box. So the BA is always going to be, when possible, paired with an MA learning experience. And so once you've done that, then you've completed competency 1, and you'll move to the next learning experience. And this one's called Christian spirituality. Again, the work to complete is on the right. When you finish that, you'll do a master assessment, and then you'll move into the MA side, and you'll see again, this is going to be still in competency 1. There's 2 learning experiences. The learning experience here, there are 2 learning competencies in there are 2 learning experiences in competency 1. This is the second one, reflections on your spiritual journey, keeping a 3-month spiritual journal, and then all the work that is required. Again, there's no master assessment because you still have 2 more learning experiences, and you'll continue to go through this process, right? Those 2 are paired, and then you're going to come to the next part, which is personal initiative and the work required, and then you're going to do a master assessment because that's a BA requirement. Now you'll have completed 3 of those. And then you'll do the developing a win, build, send movement. And again, you will not have a master assessment because you still have 1 more learning experience. And that takes us to yet another bachelor requirement, which is vocation. Here's the work required on the right. You'll do another master assessment. And then finally, you'll do maximizing your kingdom impact, which is paired with that one called vocation. You will complete that work. And then you have your first character outcome master assessment. You'll have gotten a master assessment for starting well. You'll have 4 BA master assessments, and this will be your first MA master assessment that is from an actual character outcome. And then you're going to do the same for, if we drop down here, you're going to see that the same thing is going to happen for character outcome 2. I'm not going to go through all that at this stage because it wouldn't be helpful. But what I want you to see is that we have tried to pair the BA side with the MA side. After every BA outcome is completed, you immediately do a master assessment. When all the LEs that make up the master's side of the character outcome are complete, you'll do a final master assessment over all those competencies and learning experiences that make up that character outcome. Again, you can follow all of this on the workflow. It's going to take time for you to learn. I understand that. That's why we're creating this video. You can have discussions with your faculty mentor, and they can bring greater clarity from what I can do on this video. But hopefully this will get you moving and understand the workflow document, understand what the BA requirements are, and introduce you to the idea of a master assessment, and show you how the BA and the MA are in sync and how there's different competencies and learning experiences that flesh those out. I know this is a lot. Hang in there. You will get it, but it will take time. Thanks.